Hello, my name's Tammy McKenzie. I'm the director of the Ola Fellowship. Imposter syndrome in AI decision-making is a thing. I feel it. Everybody I know feels it. Every fellow who I've spoken to about it has occasionally felt it. So we wanted to look at it. We were thinking, is this keeping people from the decision? It is. Can we do anything about it? Should we be training people to feel more confident? And it turns out that imposter syndrome is largely a social problem, not a psychological one. So if you're feeling it, it's usually a sign that you're in a space where traditionally or typically somebody like you hasn't been welcome, has had barriers to entry. When that's the case, that's a social problem. And then it's a social problem, we need to look at social solutions. So the first is that to reassure you that even the director of international think tanks occasionally feel imposter syndrome about what we're doing. And I've been in rooms with, well, I'll give you the story. We were assembled to have a conversation that was observed by numerous specialists from different fields, internationally renowned specialists from different fields, some dozen AI programmers, media, and other entourage. Several of us were invited to discuss certain cases in AI to try and figure out, as an interdisciplinary group. We're talking a few dozen people. We were invited and selected from many, 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 many applications. They chose to put us in that room, they chose the questions, and they asked us to talk about it. And yet, one of the questions was asked was, what's your biggest accomplishment? We were in small groups. And one of the people at the table broke down. And they said, I'm just so pleased and proud of myself to be here in this situation that we've been invited to. I feel like this is my biggest accomplishment, and that you're all so much more wonderful and amazing than I am. And, well, I couldn't let that stand. That's exactly how I felt in that room. Like the nonsense of thinking, you're there and you're here in this conversation. So you got to this conversation because of all that work you did to get to it. But then you'll wonder if you're the only one in the room who shouldn't be there. So you should be here. You should be there in that room. Everybody should have access to that room. That's our mission at the Ola Fellowship. This is not a psychological problem. This is on us. Because when we're making spaces for others to come in and have that conversation, if all they see is 1,000 amazing fellows and there's no room for people to have that conversation, then we will have failed our mission. Because the mission is to get everyone access to the conversation, not to block the door by looking so amazing that nobody else feels that they can walk in. So a constant social collective effort is needed to make sure that our colleagues know that they're welcome and needed and heard and really needed. We'll keep getting back to that. And that our colleagues includes everybody. AI is affecting all of society, not just our social class, not just educated people who have, professional specialties. It's everybody. And so we have to be very careful with it. The imposter syndrome that we feel, and also be conscious of the imposter syndrome that we risk creating in other people. Thank you.